Why, hello there, friends. This is our live stream, and hopefully we can get through a number of questions that can be beneficial to everybody, including myself. Firstly, wanted to thank Cognetics. You sent me over this to try. Here's your shout out. This is actually a surprisingly good nootropic, one of those blends. They've got lion's mane, bacopa, L-theanine, tyrosine, rhodiola, ginkgo biloba, N-acetyl L-carnitine, and huperzine A. They fully disclose the ingredients and the dosages. So I just got this yesterday. I'll let you guys know how it is, but I've taken it twice. Like it so far. When you know what ingredients something contains, you kind of have an idea what to expect. Like if I see some rhodiola, some tyrosine, a little bit of bacopa and lion's mane, I'll know I'll get like this nice reduction of anxiety, stress, and at the same time feeling nice, feeling like myself, not feeling overly stimulated. And then from Natural Stacks, one of the products is they sent me a bunch. I'm liking this one, serotonin brain food. Kind of like a mood pick-me-up, and it's got some unique nootropics that I don't typically take, like L-tryptophan, zinc. I don't usually use vitamin B3 just in the middle of the day like that. Let me know what you guys got for me. What else is new? Thinking like for new. What else is new? I really would highly recommend, guys, because we talk about productivity on this channel too. Pick up this book, 12-Week Year. Really good stuff. Get more. This is the promise of the book. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. Bam. So I've read this book maybe 5 or 6 times. It's really good stuff. And what's up with you guys? Lately, what I've noticed is using modafinil, you get the productivity, but why does it increase your anxiety specifically? Because no matter what happens, you're not able to kind of feel like yourself and just get rid of that impatient sort of feeling. What I found is that it's really because it just elevates your heart rate. And when you look on that on Google and you read about people's experiences, there's a lot of people that have actually tracked modafinil on their heart rate, and they notice it, because it increases it, that's almost why they're a little bit anxious, a little bit not feeling like yourself. So then comes the question of, to counteract that feeling, why not take something that can reduce your heart rate to some extent and just be stimulated, energized? And I took modafinil earlier today. Feel good, but I do notice with modafinil, it's especially useful on days when you're like eating less frequently. Let's say if it's a day where you know you're gonna have breakfast and just be out and about for 6 hours, makes it really good. And what is up, guys? Rated Fardeen VS Giorgio's back. Let me know if you're a new subscriber or not. It's always good to connect with you and know how you found the channel. By the way, other update, I just ordered Phenibut FAA, free amino acid, from Lift Mode, since everybody's telling me to do that. And I also got some good stuff like magnolia bark extract. If you want me to review or try out a good nootropic, guys, do let me know. I don't mind going and putting myself out there, spending the money, just trying things, as it's mutually beneficial. And yeah, a lot of nootropics, surprisingly, they work for me, and I'll hopefully be able to like kind of summarize it well for you all. So I don't get headaches from paracetam, so does it mean I don't need choline? Paracetam, good question, Fardeen. You are not using choline specifically to eliminate headaches, more so just to make the paracetam more effective. So to make the paracetam, let's say you're getting 70% of the benefits of paracetam, add some choline, then you're at 100%. So that's something you may want to try. If you're noticing results from paracetam, just try adding some choline. Notice if whatever it's doing is to a greater extent. Can you tell me why? Was that a Cognetics thumbnail? Haha, already ordered some myself. Well, there's been a few brands which have sent me stuff, and I just I think it looks great, like nice branding. The ingredient profile is pretty solid. They've got the lion's mane mushroom powder. Yeah, looks like overall a good product. Whereas like honestly, some sites, you just look them up and you see typos and you don't know what the heck they're having in there, and I'm like, you can send it to me if you want, but I'm not going to try it, so you're better off not. And nootropics deliver. This time I take brain gains. There's so many nootropic blends out there, guys. I don't know, and I'm sorry if you expect me to. That's really not what this channel is about. This is the channel where people go to after they've tried nootropic blends and they want to understand them at a deeper level and like fine tweak things, right? So that's what I hope to do. Although nootropic blends are good, they have their purpose, right? You may want to just try new things and you want to get the placebo effect, right? And convenience sake too, just having everything in 3-4 capsules, right? Be mindful of excess tax. Are you saying exercise or exercise tax? I didn't get that, Chaitan. Is nicotine a good nootropic? It's works well in the later portion of the day, like a nice pick me up. In the later portion of the day, especially when you're like fatigued, you're in a bad mood, and your willpower is kind of at its lowest, you're more likely to be susceptible to go on Netflix and waste time. That's where nicotine, you just take it, close your eyes for a bit, it'll physically stimulate you. Your mood will be really, really good. Kind of get in that action just to take action, do something, especially when it comes to productivity. As far as socially, some people like it. I'm not the biggest fan. And lately, what I've noticed with nicotine, in fact, I didn't even take it today. When I take it in the, let's say, first 6 hours of the day, it almost sets me up for lower energy in the later portion of the day. I don't know if that's true. Lately, I'm not liking nicotine too much because there seems to be this effect, like you get this nice boost 10, 20 minutes, and then I almost feel a little bit worse. Let me know if that's true for you. It's horribly addicting. And because I don't know, I haven't seen much bad research on it, I'm not too concerned about it. The Nootropic reviewer, ever hear about biohacking? Seems like you enjoy it. Isn't this channel kind of like biohacking? Because biohacking, my interpretation of it was kind of optimizing yourself, your performance through supplements, through exercise, through doing all kinds of crazy stuff on yourself, like freaking using a human charger to put light in your ear and get the benefits of vitamin D. Thoughts on centrophenoxine and facilracetam? Centrophenoxine is good until you try CDP choline and alpha GPC, in my opinion. So that was how I first tried piracetam. Actually, it was piracetam and centrophenoxine. Didn't notice anything kind of too profound. Maybe a little bit more mental energy. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's worth getting. That's one of the reasons why with centrophenoxine, people may take it and it won't be in their stack 6 months later. They'll find some other stuff. Can you take ANA daily? What is ANA? ANA. ANA. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Ali Nippon Airways. It's an airway. It's an airline. Have you tried? Okay, he says aniracetam. Jonathan, my friend, you're spelling aniracetam wrong. I think isn't it N-I-N-A-N-I? Can you take aniracetam? Yeah, most people do actually with aniracetam because it has that buildup effect. It takes a couple weeks for it to start working generally. You are so right. I'm not the best speller, but with nootropics, maybe I am. Guys, don't mind hitting the like button. Let's get some people up in here. I'm horribly sorry for not doing these live streams more often. I'm dealing with a lot, like work, like kind of work stress, and coming back on this channel and talking to all of you, connecting with you, definitely helps, and just enjoying the journey, right? Rated, hey, I was gonna get to your question, man. Don't worry. I don't ignore questions, or give it like 10 minutes and then do a fair evaluation, because I didn't ignore. It's just that Jonathan rephrased his question, sir. But maybe just for that, I should ignore your question. What do I think about iron supplements? Usually not required, not needed. Female, for whatever reason, I found just across this channel and meeting people through fitness most of the time, a lot of females seem to like it and get something out of it. Supposedly skin health, other things. They're more likely to be deficient. I wouldn't be concerned about it if you have a good overall, like, well-balanced diet, because then it comes to the point, like, you're just taking everything, right? Does Mucuna honey raise BDNF? Okay, wait, sorry, Jack Frost. Have you tried a testosterone supplement from HFL called Alpha Viral? It seems to be the only test booster formula I've actually tried to boost. Jack Frost, it would be more helpful if you list the ingredients. Guys, when you ask me about blends, I really don't know. There's just always a newer blend, right? So I apologize. Let me know what the ingredients are on that, and then I can better just advise as far as whether I could see it working or not. Oh, here we go. It's pretty easy to find. What's it has? Tribulus, L-arginine, goatweed, Tomcat alley, and Avena. Yeah, it would work for people who have like low, maybe mid to low levels of testosterone. Guys, really, you should be getting to the gym. Like, I was reading a study today, and it was like high performers, even higher income earners. There was evidence showing more often than not they worked out 5 times a week, especially entrepreneurs, right? So, does Mucuna honey raise BDNF? I don't know. That's a question for Google. Just type BDNF, type the nootropic supplement, and write PubMed. New subby, and here we are, Righteously Rebellious TV. Tell me, how did you find the channel? Super curious. Fardeen says, any nootropics to help with sperm count? Yeah, there's a lot actually. Look at ashwagandha. Look at even testosterone has some evidence on that. Look at Tomcat Alley and some of the ingredients just mentioned actually in that other product. Generally, with a lot of these nootropics that promise better testosterone, you may see that as well with some research behind it. Ashwagandha, by the way, oh my gosh, I made a new video on ashwagandha benefits for women. Dude, this is like the best nootropic for females. Like less gray hair, better skin, better like sex drive, and like occurrences of having sex with different people. What else? And just helps with the whole menstrual cycle. So I'm gonna make more videos just particularly for the female viewers. So let me know if you watch my channel and you want to know about particular nootropics for you, or yeah, just specifically what kind of appeals to the rest of you, because the channel it's about 80% male, 20% female, and I feel like that's the one thing missing across this channel, amongst a few things, is just specifically, answering the question of how does a lot of this information apply to females, because people may ask, okay, does this nootropic works for men? Does it work for females as well, right? But hey, Mike, I saw how to cycle and avoid tolerance with alpha GPC, how to take nootropic long-term through cycling. Kala Devi, go with a really low dose, like 100 milligrams, 2 to 3 times a day. I think the more you work, the more really just hours, the more work hours you have in the day, the more alpha GPC and the more often it would be required. Don't take too much, especially if you notice a little bit of like a bad mood, a little bit of brain fog. There have been times in the past when I've taken too much alpha GPC and something just felt a little bit off. But because I use a lot of the racetams, that's my theory as far as why the alpha GPC is pretty effective. Jack Frost says, yes, I also work out. Yeah, going back to the testosterone thing, yeah, it's really important. Lifting like 3-4 times a week, get in. Don't like overwork yourself. I think that's where people go wrong and they actually decrease their testosterone levels. Be mindful of that. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? Nice to see you. I'm your new Patreon. Oh, very cool. Nabil, you have a beautiful name. Nabil Kania, share your growth. Not sure what that means, but it's cool. Razzle Cortez, what's up? Hope you remember me. Yeah, I do. It's a lot easier to remember everyone with pictures, of course. Then again, though, I remember a lot of you who don't have pictures, like Rated, Chaitan, and yeah, it's a lot to do with timing. With Zinc, choose freedom. Is that a question? He's just like Zinc. Looking up Tomcat Alley and saw your video. Great content. Oh, good stuff. And it was thanks to the channel that all of you helped me to learn about Tomcat Alley. I'm still using it every day, just once a day. I'm experimenting with a little bit more. I think in the video I was saying 200 milligrams to 300 milligrams. Now I'm going like 400 to 500 milligrams. Haven't noticed anything bad. Morning erections definitely is like the way stronger with Tomcat Alley. I'm able to get less sleep yet still feel like energetic. And as far as like weight training is concerned, my lifts are like, I was looking at my lifts last year. Not that I look that much different, but my lifts are up and I'm thinking, is this the Tomcat? Because specifically over the past month, it's been a lot easier. Just so hard to gauge though, because due to whatever's going on with this illness, we're all getting our beginner gains back, if you know what I mean. We're going back to the gym and we can just kill it, build muscle, lose fat, all that good stuff. Good morning, Mike. I'm in Italy. What's up? You dropped a like. Cool. Why so serious? Where are you in Italy? Let me know more, guys. If where are you from? Which city? And I'm really impressed just how everyone speaks English. No, not a lot of people. Before, people used to ask, can you make your videos have subtitles in Spanish or whatever language? But does it really seem like it's required anymore? Can an average student become topper with nootropics? Oh my gosh. No. Please tell some nootropics improve memory significantly. I can answer the second question. Memory significantly, Bacopa, paracetam, and choline, those three are pretty powerful. And anything which can reduce stress, if you consider yourself to be like a stressed, cortisol, anxious, person in general, maybe you're not sleeping enough. Phosphatidylserine is also good too. Can an average student become a topper with nootropics? Depends what you take. When it comes to nootropics for studying, there's the ones which really work have horrible downsides, like stuff for ADHD, if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't recommend it. It will help you to improve your grades, just because not only may it help you with cognition, but your work ethic and your motivation and your drive will be higher, thus shutting out distractions and things you shouldn't be doing. I think anything which can improve your discipline is a good thing, which is why I'm saying, guys, really like work out, and walking your dog doesn't count. Modafinil, any worries with Tomcat Alley and mercury poisoning? I'm a bad person to ask about that, because I mean, I was eating so much tuna fish growing up, like the canned stuff, which then people kept on talking about how bad it was. I don't know. That is a good question just to keep in mind, though. Modafinil versus phenylprostam, which is more prone to long-term side effects? Tejasvi, that's a really good question. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I would, because modafinil is something that a lot of people do take consistently without withdrawals, I would guess the answer would be phenylprostam. Phenylprostam for a lot of people is just stronger. You're more likely to experience some sort of insomnia, not get a lot of deep sleep. With phenylprostam, I'm not comfortable taking it every day for a week, whereas with modafinil I am, because there's so many case studies out there of people who've used modafinil for like 2-3 years straight and have gotten off of it. It's not like it's really damaged their brains, but with phenylprostam, you would just expect that it would do something, given that it's too physically stimulating for a lot of people. I actually took maybe 50 milligrams of it this morning. Not even morning though. It was about 12 hours ago. Man, today was a long day. Jeez. What would you say is a safe way to use aniracetam? Sorry about that. I skipped a couple questions. Sorry about that. Help settle this. If you take your phenylprostam, should you replenish your choline via alpha GPC or acetylcholine? John Pham, 50% of people will say alpha GPC. 50% of people are going to say acetylcholine. I don't know the answer to that. Based on my experience, I like alpha GPC a lot more. Alpha GPC arguably is more physically kind of energizing, whereas CDP choline maybe more mentally. But this is something it's so variable between different people. And you're all the way from Sydney, Australia. That is super cool. Well, I'm glad you're on the channel, and I'm looking forward to come down to Australia one day. Would you say Nabil says, what would you say is a safe way to use aniracetam longer term in the sense of cycling, and how often a week? I would say with aniracetam, every day is the ideal way you want to take most of the racetams, because that's when you start to notice the benefits. It'll be after 2 to 3 weeks, and then something like 2 months on, 1 week off, something like that. As the racetams, but just for me anyway, like they're really not that strong. It takes a long time to notice that they're doing anything, and that's what makes them special, is that they're pretty safe long term. Like, guys, I've been taking the 4 racetams I talk about. I've been taking them, like, I would say 80% of the days the past 5 to 6 years. I've not really noticed anything bad, but maybe I'm just unique that way and immune to side effects. Nootropics for brain fog and California here. Okay, very cool. Troy, whereabouts in California? Nootropics for brain fog and creativity. Two very different things, because with the brain fog, it could just be that you've taken a bad nootropic in a lot of cases, or you're just fatigued. So with brain fog, a lot of the times it's choline that does seem to cure it, or even some tyrosine just to give you like an energy pick me up. With creativity, it's more of like the equation of stress, reducing stress to the most you can. And specifically L-theanine is the one thing across, like, a lot of research has shown just to do some really interesting things in your brain to enhance your creativity. I have found that lion's mane and ashwagandha are helpful too, but then it's a question of, is it really like boosting your creativity, or is it just reducing stress, right? What are some good nootropics for exam time? Pranav, watch the video which I made. Why am I pointing? There's no thumbnail. Nootropics. I'm so used to doing that. Nootropics for studying. Hello, I'm from Hawaii. Okay, very cool. I'm curious, how many nootropics / adaptogens do you stack daily? Maybe like 10, 15 things. I don't know, like, because they're very convenient to take. What my day typically looks like is I'm not freaking going to like a cupboard every 5 minutes taking a new nootropic. It's very simple. It's like morning I'll have 1 serving. Maybe 6 hours after I'll have another serving, and then maybe 4 hours after that I'll have something else. So like ideally morning pre-workout I'll have all my nootropics plus pre-workout caffeine, right? And then maybe around 4 o'clock, I'll take some, and then around 8 o'clock, I'll take some more, something like that. But I'm working pretty late hours just because my freelancers who help me with a lot of my work, both with YouTube and with selling homes, my typical day job, are on the other side of the world. So I got to be alive, alert, and awake for them. I have a fast heart rate due to Son the Gamer. I would say the only exception to that when I take nootropics outside of those 3 times is when it's something like a stimulant like caffeine. Sometimes if I just need a pick-me-up, I'll use caffeine or L-theanine sometime in the early afternoon. So it's a combination pretty much of like pills, and I just put them in bags, or if it's powders, I put them in these little like containers so I can just take the powders like that. So I'll put all the powders together for the week, typically on a Sunday, and that way I'm not really spending more than like 4 or 5 minutes actually taking nootropics in the day. It's a lot easier than you think. I know you guys may think I'm crazy, but I would have thought I was crazy too 5 years ago. I have a fast heart rate due to epinephrine, excuse me. How to reduce epinephrine with nootropics? Do you think phosphatidylserine will work? That's a good question. I was just actually talking about that with modafinil. Phosphatidylserine can work. Try some L-theanine as well. Maybe some lion's mane and bacopa. Let me know how that goes, Thomas. I'm really curious to know about that. I've been looking for different ways just to reduce your heart rate, because when you can do that, you have this like nice ability to see things in slow motion and deconstruct them. But the issue is when it's too low, then the majority of times we'll just be tired and we'll be lethargic. So providing like your energy, like you have energy, you know, you're somewhat stimulated and you have a lower heart rate, all things being equal, you're going to be creative, you're going to be calm, you're going to be resourceful. For deep sleep, I take GABA, 5-HTP, melatonin, valerian, and I add L-tryptophan. What do you take? That's really good, Jorgus. GABA, 5-HTP, melatonin, valerian. I wouldn't take melatonin too often. I'm not pro melatonin. This is strong. It's like a hormone. You may as well take testosterone, because with melatonin, I don't think it's a long-term solution, and a lot of people abuse it. They take too much of it. So what do I take? I actually don't really take anything, which will surprise a lot of people. I'm pretty much done nootropics after like 8, 9 o'clock. There are some exceptions when I'll use some Tribulus before bed, and I'll take some lemon balm because I just got that supplement and it's pretty exciting. And then, you know, if I'm having dinner, I'll just add things like fish oil, vitamin D, but nothing really specific to help with sleep. Will phenylpiracetam give you that robotic feeling like Moda or ADD meds? No, because robotic feeling, I don't really know what you mean when you say robotic feelings, because I'm going to assume you just mean kind of blunts your creativity. Like you kind of lose your emotions. That doesn't really happen with ADD meds, Moda, or phenylpiracetam. They don't. The answer is no, because with phenylpiracetam, it almost helps with the context of anxiety. Like modafinil will heighten your anxiety, but phenylpiracetam in most cases will actually reduce it, which makes them a very interesting combination. So it hasn't really been my experience, especially in the later portion of the day. I found that I can work pretty damn efficiently with phenylpiracetam. You're a champion. I'm glad I found your channel. Oh, that's super kind of you. Thanks, John. That's work for me. What's work for me? Odd Job says 300 milligrams alpha GPC in the morning. 1 hour later, 300 milligrams phenylpiracetam. It feels like I'm wearing a baseball cap and pulling the brim down. Helps focus, but not like Adderall. Yeah, well, don't expect anything to be like Adderall. I've never even tried Adderall. I tried a little bit of Concerta last week, and I'm not going to do that again. No, thank you. I'm in Osta, Northern Italy. Okay, very cool. Confined with France, and I study English, so I understand everything. Very cool. Good stuff. Question about you. How have you been doing? And what are your goals with this channel / in life? How am I doing? I'm good. I'm excited. I got different things going on and enjoying life, and it's a daring adventure. And what are my goals with this channel? I don't know. I'm just seeing where it goes at this point. Obviously, there's a lot we can do with the channel. I don't even really have a proper operating website. I'm not big on social, Insta. I'm just started from making videos. So we'll see we'll see where it goes. Perhaps I'll think more about it. But with respect to what are my goals in life, I want to pick up and move out of Toronto. So maybe move somewhere in the States. Just don't know when. And other than that, I'm really driven by building passive income. I want to retire soon, and that'll be a good feeling. Absolutely love your channel and everything it has offered me. Thanks, Wiley. What are the long-term side effects that you've seen with the racetams? I've had some success with oxiracetam. Long-term side effects with the racetams, as I mentioned before, they've been pretty good to me over the past 4 or 5 years. With oxiracetam, I do regret taking it so often as I don't get the same stimulating feeling that I typically got from it. When it comes to oxiracetam, like even a small dose, 300, 400 milligrams, I used to get this little pick me up. Doesn't really happen so much anymore. So long-term side effects, otherwise, haven't really noticed anything. They all seem to work. Don't really work so well with the phenols though. Modafinil, phenylprostatam, I still find them working. Otherwise, not so much. You're going to be able to retire soon? Damn. Well, I mean, I think most people can retire if they just find somewhere with very, very low cost of living and just do something. No, I'm not going to retire, but be in a position where I can choose if I want to work or not work. And then I can just do work every night, right? And absolutely. I'm recovering from my 3rd mild concussion, and I've been doing research on your channel. It's been helpful. That's really cool. I'll touch more on the videos about nootropics that can actually help with like brain injury. Just that I have to keep in mind, it's not going to be relevant information for like 90% of people, but pramiracetam comes to mind. Most of the racetams are good. Ashwagandha is good. Lion's mane, good too. What will be your life without nootropics in areas like cognition, academics, financial? I mean, I wouldn't know the answer to that question. That's a question for the higher being, for a higher spiritual being. I want to move to, I hate Toronto. Are you actually in Toronto? Oh my gosh. We will move together. We just got to find a place to go. And we'll get our license there selling homes and we'll just crush it. Cool, come to Miami. That's funny. Real Ionis, where are you in Toronto? Just curious. We should do a subscriber meetup. Today's stack: alpha GPC 300 milligrams, uridine 400 milligrams, phenylprostatam 250 milligrams, Tonkat Ali 200 milligrams, prostatam 5 grams. You're loving your prostatam. L-tyrosine 2 grams, lion's mane 1 gram, okay, Balance Fox, and 4 cups of coffee with some L-theanine. Nice. What kind of coffee? Yeah, that's a cool stack, especially like the lion's mane 1 gram. It's just so it's pretty similar in terms of. I'm curious to know for the alpha GPC how often you took that, and with the Tonkat Ali, has anyone else tried taking it twice a day versus just once a day? That's a pretty cool stack, Balance Fox. Although I find it interesting, there's really nothing there to help you just like manage stress. I would guess like the later portion of the day, you kind of, depending on your work, you may feel a bit like just stressed, anxious, a little bit tired. Because I find that without the adaptogens, rhodiola, bacopa, and ashwagandha specifically, my mood is definitely a lot worse at the end of the day. Wiley, man, you have no idea how much you helped me. My only regret was I didn't find nootropics when I started medical school. That's okay, man. You know, I was in a really bad mood for a couple of days this week. Just something happened with work, and I just wrote down on a sheet of paper, "Life is not fair, move on." And I put it right in front of me. I actually did this an hour ago. And it kind of empowers you, gives you energy. Hey, things happen for you. They don't happen to you. I took Noopep for the first time today and it gave me a headache. Should I continue to take it? Andy, 2 options: reduce the dose or take some choline with it. And you may as well want to just try having it with meals if you're, you know, or like in between meals. I think I did find that Noopep was more effective when I was not practicing intermittent fasting. Sorry, guys, give me 3 Mississippis. You guys don't know how hard a live stream is. It's literally just me talking this whole time. I could do something like put up slides and you know, take the attention off myself, but it's a really nice challenge. Like, can I just go an hour straight talking? Because I watch that number and I watch people leave. You know, if I go like just 5 seconds without saying anything, it's pretty funny. I tried lion's mane, but I need to add more. I ordered cordyceps. Very cool. The cordyceps weren't that good to me. Let me know, guys, if you had good experience with it. I actually found it increased my irritability a little bit, so I didn't really give it a proper try. Perhaps in some sort of mushroom blend, I may try it again, or just some way to offset that little irritability feeling. Hey, what did you invest in for retirement? I don't know what you mean. No, like, I mean, my goal is to retire early if I want to. I'm not saying I'm freaking retired, man. But property, stocks, just like everyone else. I don't know that much about stocks. They're just pretty much conservative stuff, right? Hey, I also wish I'm in Scarborough. I want to move to Trinidad. That's funny. Well, that's because you're in Scarborough. Prankadaz, are you spiritual or atheist? I'm not atheist. I'm somewhat spiritual. I'd like to get more in touch with my spiritual side. It's not always that easy unless you have some sort of like crazy epiphany. If you've had one, let me know. Thanks for your info, my guy. I take 22 types of supplements, and your channel has helped me out a lot on knowing when/how much to take certain supplements. I'm still learning, but I feel great. Oh, that's super cool. Good for you. I'm glad you're seeing some results. Odd Job says I really don't feel much with lion's mane. I think the more work, the more projects you have going on, the less I wouldn't say stress, but the less room you have in your head, the more important lion's mane is. Like you'll especially find when you're kind of overloaded and there's so many things to do. That's when it's just good. It kind of gives you an ability to kind of zone out for a bit and see yourself with some depth. I heard you can't get pastime because it's not loud. Do you know anywhere? No, I don't. Fallon's Fox, yeah, I actually find Tonkat Allides better when I take 100 milligrams twice a day. Okay, cool. I'll definitely give that a shot. Cordyceps makes me super horny, like really horny. Is that right? That's funny. Lion's mane caused me brain fog. Should I change the brand? Fardeen, what type of brand did you try? Because lion's mane is one of those nootropics, like I mentioned on the videos. It's pretty variable. Sorry about that. I want to make the seem like I'm looking right at you. I want to get into stocks and Bitcoin before 2021. Okay, very cool. Where in Toronto are you? And don't say Vaughan. I'm actually at the border of Toronto and Vaughan. Well, Toronto and then Vaughan. Bathurst and Steeles. In your opinion, what are great nootropics for sports and physical training? Brandon, if you're talking about increasing performance, improving performance, that's a different conversation versus building muscle and building a better physique. Because I would say with when it comes to like building a better physique, then you look at pre-workout supplements, you look at things which are going to aid you with recovery. Specifically for improving your performance, I think phenylparastime is really impressive. I think L-tyrosine is impressive. Again, there's so many studies done just on simple caffeine. So try some caffeine. I think caffeine pills will pretty much blow your mind versus a cup of coffee. I used to play a lot of soccer, and when I started using caffeine pills, like I had a competitive advantage like no other. It's like you just couldn't score. Like I wanted to play defense just to have. It was so much fun just chasing after people. Right? It's cool. Have you tried any psychedelics? Yeah, a few times. If you have time, look at options wheel strategy for stock market. Great method of passive income. Yeah, I found just the best way to learn about one investing vehicle is you really have to, you have to just commit and say yes and decide and study it. And also, most importantly, study with a group of people. If you don't really have that community around you or somebody you can just talk to, like a mentor, it's a little bit challenging, right? I'm going to put in an order for modafinil in a few days. Mike, I can't wait to try it. Fallon's Fox, what I was mentioning earlier was just how modafinil increases your heart rate. Just pay attention to that. See if you can find a way around it. Don't think that phenibut will help you to reduce your heart rate. No, it actually makes it opposite. I don't know what I was thinking. It's like modafinil, my heart rate, and just being observant to the fact that this is elevating my heart rate, which is why I'm feeling stressed. Why not add some phenibut? And then I noticed the phenibut just makes your heart rate faster. Like, what the hell am I thinking? I took this Brandon Green. They work together, right? What were you referring to? What, tyrosine and caffeine? Yeah, the answer is yes. Hey, Mike, have you ever... Oh, sorry. I took this brand called Solaray. Yeah, if you've not tried the ND lion's mane, I think, yeah, you really won't know. But this stuff is good too, actually. This says lion's mane mushroom powder, 500 milligrams. It's a good dose, but this stuff feels like there's some good lion's mane up in here. Hey, Mike, have you ever noticed becoming more irritable and shorter fuse when taking L-theanine, or in my case, maybe taking too much L-theanine? Sungsho, if you're taking L-theanine without the caffeine, it may happen. But when you take caffeine with your L-theanine, which is the way in which I would typically do it, that's when it doesn't really happen too much. But it wouldn't surprise me because Sungsho, you have to keep in mind, it's an amino acid, it's a protein. Generally, when you're fasted and you have like a carbohydrate or a protein, it will cause a little bit of irritability because you'll get a slight insulin spike, and then it just drops. And then after a little bit, you should be fine. Whereas if you just have like a little bit of fat, it's a different feeling. You'll get energy from that if it's just in the middle of the day. If it's in between meals or if you're fasting. Let me know if that made sense, Sungsho. I try to simplify this as much as I can, which is easy because I'm not the highest IQ guy, but let me know if it's simple. Good day, Mike. Have you tried Ritalin? Yeah, Jen Jax. Wouldn't recommend it knowing you. Opinion on vinpocetine. Didn't really do too much for me. That was one of the nootropics that I was, it was like one of the first nootropics after piracetam and centrophenoxine. And I mean, it was really inexpensive, which was good. But taking it again and again, didn't notice too much from it. So yeah. I remember taking vinpocetine to exams and like thinking it would work, you know. So I would finish half my exam when I didn't have answers to questions. So I take some vinpocetine, hoping for some placebo effect. Didn't do anything for me. Guys, I have a question. I have a video which I've made on the 4 racetams, explaining them. Like, so aniracetam, piracetam, oxiracetam, and pramiracetam. I need a title for the video. Do you guys have any good suggestions? I'm thinking of making like, this is your guide to racetams, or what are the racetams, or the racetam differences explained, or what racetam is right for you. If you guys have a good title, making titles and making thumbnails are, yeah, it requires just a horrible amount of energy and just brainstorming, and it'd be good to get some feedback, right? Makes it fun though. Mike, what keeps you from procrastinating? Oh, cool. Jesus, take the wheel. Your jawline is fire. I don't really think so, man. I'm just eating less. Longer term. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just going back to questions. Generous Jax, have you tried Ritalin? Yeah, my doctor like prescribed me on that. I think accidentally. You know, just a little like bit of a mood boost, more focus. So I wouldn't recommend it. What goes up comes down. Nabil, what is wiser in terms of longer use with Noopept? I'm thinking low doses. How many times should I max take it to not build a tolerance? It's not max take it. It's just about consistency. You can try like 5 days on, 2 days off, or something like 4 weeks on, 1 week off. Yeah, guys, just feel free to ask your questions, even if they're not related to nootropics, personal development, whatever you want to be. L-theanine makes me calm, but L-tyrosine makes me nervous, and I stopped taking it. Saravana, that's really common. I found with L-tyrosine, especially if you're not hydrated well, it will cause a little bit of irritability and some anxiety. It's more like the end of the day, you just need a little bit of a pick-me-up, but you don't want to use caffeine. What are the best nootropics for openness or creativity? Ashwagandha is good, lion's mane is good, and L-theanine is really good. Fallon's Fox, what keeps you from procrastinating when it comes to work you would rather avoid? Well, why can't you just not do it? Can you give the work to somebody else? Or, I mean, okay, let's be practical. You have a budget. What keeps you from procrastinating when it comes to work you'd rather avoid? Do it in just kind of like put all the work which you don't like and just put it in like a 30-minute slot in the day. Then at least it's like over, right? But if it's something which is going to be on your mind overnight, I would get it done like ASAP. Just get it done, man. Just take massive action. Take massive action. Don't overthink it. Overthink it. It just makes it worse. Fallon's Fox, I think when you're intentional about getting uncomfortable every single day, whether it's an uncomfortable conversation, which is my favorite, you know, engaging some sort of uncomfortable environment, exercising your versatility. When you do that enough, you kind of stop procrastinating, because those are just the hardest mental challenges. It's really interesting. How to use modafinil and phenylpiracetam for studying? Kaladevi, I wouldn't use phenylpiracetam for studying because you're so physically energized. Like, I'll be here under the influence of phenylpiracetam, and I will just want to go outside and sprint. That's what makes it pretty strong. Modafinil probably better. You're able to just focus. You're able to read and write a lot faster with modafinil. I have found that with modafinil though, like my days end and I'm still stimulated, and it's like I don't even remember what happened in the course of the day. I didn't get those emotional highs and lows. Maybe felt a little bit of stress, and nothing's kind of retained to my memory. It's kind of odd. Like this week has just felt so like long, and I don't even remember much, but I know there was good results as I was using a lot of modafinil. I want to try phenylpiracetam, but it seems scary. I read that a side effect is, I'm not going to say that word, and I'm going to actually remove your comment. Guys, you got to just be a little bit mindful of the words. Obviously, have some common sense, right? It's not your fault, just for the future. Phenylpiracetam, for a lot of people, it doesn't really do too much to them as far as the side effects are concerned. So you should be fine. Thunder Drake, it's good. Piracetam, it doesn't feel as strong as ND. Okay, cool. What about mathematical abilities? Computation increases. Brandon Green, mathematical. Those are more like nootropics that are going to help you, like give you some sort of analytical edge. I think the racetams are really good. Look less into focus enhancers versus things which can help you to shuttle down stress. Hey, Mike, looking great. Thanks very much, JP Stream. I'm dressed up because I was on appointments, and then I went to visit my grandma because it's her 92nd birthday, and here I am. Hey man, great channel. Which one of these should I not be taking for the rest of my life? Oh, that's a cool question. What should I not be taking? Oh my gosh. I don't know enough about sativa to comment. So lion's mane, bacopa, ashwagandha, rhodiola rosea, curcumin, alcar, and pramiracetam. If it's the rest of your life, I would say all things being equal, probably pramiracetam. Just it has the least research on its effectiveness long term, and arguably is the only kind of man-made one. The rest of them herbs extracted right in some sort of way. Racetam, 4 horsemen of racetams. That's a good title. Yo, who could beat that title? That's good. Yo, you guys are great, man. Racetam. I asked the audience what's a good title for this video describing the differences between 4 racetams. So 4 horsemen of racetam, the right racetams. Yeah, this is cool. I'll go back to this. What's your racetam? The right racetam for you, man. You guys are funny. Okay, we gotta go back to. Hey, Mike, great channel. Which how come you never talk about tineptine? Because I've never tried it. Yeah, I never tried it. When I looked it up, it kind of just scared me. Let me look it up again. Tineptine, any of you guys seen results? Yeah, man. Like it just, you go on Google, typical antidepressant. Hell no, man. What I read from it just kind of made me think, okay, this is, I advocate good health and longevity, and this doesn't seem to get my attention that way. Title guide, introduction guide to Rastan. Have you tried Kratom? Kem, Mikal, I have tried it. I may try it again just to understand it better for all of you. But I tried it a couple times. Noticed feeling a little bit more energetic, but that was when a lot of the bad stories started coming up about Kratom. So I threw it out in the garbage, and I had capsules that were made for me. I'm taking 300 milligrams of Bacopa. Yeah, guys, if you have particular stacks you want tweaks to, that's where we can go over these, and I think you will really find some benefit. Because if you can get some sort of takeaway from this video here, you can get a lot of information. But if we can make like a nice tweak, then it may help you, and you can report back to me next time, right? So feel free. I'm taking 300 milligrams Bacopa 2 to 3 times, rhodiola 600 milligrams, alpha GPC 600 milligrams, and tyrosine. Those are pretty big doses. I hope you're not taking that much, like 2 to 3 times, just because it's a lot, right? What about CoQ10? I read a study that actually not doing anything. CoQ10, I think the majority of people don't notice much from it. Then there's going to be the small fraction of people, specifically elder people, that notice they get a little bit more energy from it. There's some interesting research showing it can help you with elder people, specifically with like overall strength, immunity, even muscle mass to some extent. I'm guessing I can ask what I can incorporate to my daily habit that will have an overall lifestyle memory benefit long term. Anthony, was that? Okay, sorry. Okay, that was a follow-up to your question prior. Guys, don't mind giving this thing a like, because I got to start doing more of these, and I appreciate you. Let's get some people here so they can all benefit. I guess I'm asking what can I incorporate to my daily habit which will have an overall lifestyle memory benefit long term? Of the ones which you've listed, lion's mane, bacopa, ashwagandha, rhodiola rosea, curcumin, alcar. Well, if you didn't mention choline, so that's what pretty much comes to mind. Choline is pretty much the intermediate, introductory, you can say, nootropic that most people try. Mike, any suggestions on a nootropic stack for performance when it comes to athletes? I'm a jiu-jitsu athlete, and when I compete pre-match, nerves can impact performance negatively. I mentioned phenylparacetam to the other person. I would see if you can do something with anxiety, but don't take Phenibut, because people actually feel like wobbly, almost like they're under the influence with it. Decrease stress, ashwagandha, even like specifically for this, what comes to mind in most cases is going to be rhodiola rosea. So you take 300 milligrams to 400 milligrams. Like they even have it here. How much do they put? They put 200 milligrams. It's really good stuff. It's really powerful. Although you just may be taking it, so I wouldn't be sure. Simple Tycoon, have you tried both the ND lion's mane extract concentrations? If you're referring to the 1-to-1 and the 8-to-1, the answer is yes. 1-to-1 still work, but no, it's not like the 8-to-1. The 8-to-1 is crazy strong compared to the 1-to-1. Not that it's that strong, but yeah. Have you tried Polygola Tenufu? No, I have not. Haven't felt anything with lion's mane, but I've heard wonders of it. What am I doing wrong? Any brands you'd like? For Philippe, you could be taking a lot of stimulants. You could just be somebody maybe not so aware of your state, because when I first took lion's mane, I think it was 2015, there wasn't much research out there. I just heard it was somewhat popular. And it took me a while to see, like, when I was talking to people, I would just genuinely want to know more about them. Like, for example, when you tell me you're from Italy, or when the other viewer told me they're from Italy, it's like, where in Italy? I typically wouldn't ask that question. I would think, okay, move on to whatever's next in my day. So you'll, give it a proper test if you already have it. And with nootropics, what I've always found helpful is, like, don't read too much about a nootropic before you try it, because we're always going to be susceptible to placebo effect. I may be crazy that way, but when I hear like a nootropic is good, that's it. I don't need to read about the benefits. I don't want to know what to expect. I want to know the dosage, right? I want to know how to be safe with it. And then afterwards, I'll come up with my own theories. What does this stuff do? And then I'll look for confirmation from other people. And that's why I think my Lion's Mane videos have done so well. There was pretty much nothing you could read about it back then as far as people's experiences. And I just had to guess, what is this stuff doing? And I remember having a conversation with some people, and you find, again, there's a deeper dimension to things. You're more curious, and comes out that it is true. So this just like a little nice hack if you really want to know what a nootropic does. Don't read too much about it. Keep that for yourself, right? I bought my first ready-made stack, Neuro Stack. Are you familiar with it? No, I'm not, but I think other people across this channel have mentioned it. I tried using L-theanine and caffeine before a big competition. It did good initially, but I feel like my cardio or gas tank lowers when on L-theanine. What are your thoughts? Yeah, Sungsho, for that reason, you see, with L-theanine, it will slightly calm you down, and you don't always want to get that experience when you're, exercising in general, right? So you'll find with L-tyrosine, on the contrary, it's energizing, it's stimulating, but you can get a little bit anxious from feeling overstimulated. So you can try like taking caffeine and L-tyrosine, and if that doesn't work for you and you feel a little bit uneasy, then you can even add a little bit of L-theanine. I'm seeing in some pre-workouts, they're having like the traditional 750 milligrams of L-tyrosine, 200 milligrams of caffeine, and like 50 milligrams of L-theanine, which is just a little bit, but maybe enough to induce a little bit of calmness. Let me know if that's helpful, Sungsho, but I really think it'll be an interesting journey of you just try L-tyrosine, L-theanine, caffeine, and try some different ratios and see how that works for you. A lot also depends when in the day the competition is, because I'm a believer like the L-theanine is kind of dependent on the day as well, dependent upon the time of the day as well. If it's later in the day, you may benefit more just as a result of it calming you down. Guys, are you finding this helpful? What do you guys want to hear more about, or what are your takeaways from this so far? And we'll hop on after finishing these questions. Best nootropics for academicians, like for reading. I probably butchered that word. Like for reading, analyzing, and writing long hours. Pranka, watch that video on nootropics for studying, or I think it's nootropics for students. I think that pretty much covers all that. Why caffeine is working more than 5 to 6 hours, taking some days also to get off of it. I don't know what you mean. I have been paying attention to something that Fallon's Fox kind of opened my mind to, was that it's interesting when you take caffeine, you get the up, you get the down, and then you almost feel more energetic like 6 to 7 hours afterwards. I found that more so with Qualia Mind. I've been using Qualia Mind every day, and my dad pointed this out for me because he started taking Qualia Mind before I was even exposed to it. He was the one who showed me, and he says the later portion of the day, he has more energy, and I'm noticing that as well with Qualia Mind. So it could be something to do with the type of caffeine they're using and the ingredients, because the way Qualia Mind is branded is once per day, which is really cool, considering the nootropics have like a really short-term 3 to 4 hour effect. Girgo says, I'm an online poker pro. I play a lot of table. What do you suggest for focusing for long hours? Take breaks, man. Rhodiola rosea and bacopa like twice in the day, like once early afternoon, late afternoon. I think that'll really help you out. Use some L-tyrosine if you're feeling just a little bit more fatigued than usual. What do you recommend stacking with modafinil for rapid learning? Well, because choline and bacopa, and you could try some of the vitamin Bs just to give you some mental energy. Watch that video on the Limitless Stack. Although with the Limitless Stack, the way it talks about that, it's a stack designed around modafinil. Although it doesn't really, that kind of applies more in a social context, right? Matt Walker, have you tried Bromante? No, I haven't. Sorry about that. Sarosh says, hey man, I'm on Wellbutrin XL 150 milligrams to get out of a slump. This is prescribed. It also helps me focus and feel stimulating. Do you feel the same? Yeah, Sarosh, that's exactly what I feel like, especially with the XL. You know, your interests just they're naturally there. You don't have to make an extra effort to do things. It seems a little bit easier. Fallon's Fox, the answer to the Tomcat thing is no, but I'll pay attention to it. Alpha lipoic acid, 300 milligrams, and Alcar 500 milligrams. Do these do good for brain nutrition to complement daily nootropic stack? They can. That's an interesting question, Jen. I can tell you've been doing your research before. I think 10 years, maybe 5, maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago. This was a big thing. Like using alpha lipoic acid and Alcar, people were saying was, you can say, the limitless thing. Although that was, I think, before the movie. So I don't know why that was so popular, but it was. And if you notice good results from it, let me know. I think it's just more helpful as far as like an antioxidant. Helps you with anti-aging, not a lot of side effects. You could notice a little bit more focus, but nothing too profound. The neurologist recommended me to take CoQ10 for concussion recovery, but I don't. Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of doctors do actually recommend CoQ10. Everyone knows it. The only nootropics that have done anything for me is phenibut, phenylparacetam, and armodafinil. Then you are super sensitive to nothing. Devin, try some of the stronger adaptogens. I'd be intrigued to know if they work for you. Any experience with Prozac? No, nothing. I may have taken it before, but I wouldn't know because I was on so many different antidepressants, and some stuff for anti-anxiety didn't do too much. Can you rate my current stack for productivity? Yeah, happily. 2-to-1 caffeine, lion's mane, alpha GPC, Noopept, and L-tyrosine. Oh my gosh, that's like a money-making stack. You're gonna do well. Depending on what you're doing, it's a good stack. Best nootropics for motivation or stack? Oh, motivation, go back to Thunder Drake's comment. That's like the motivation stack. You're gonna be like driven. The currently taking lion's mane, alpha GPC, Bacopa, and cordyceps. Yeah, maybe a little bit too heavy on the adaptogens for me. It'll lower your stress levels. You'll be a bit calmer and better mood, but I wouldn't say it would help you too much with motivation. Consider the racetams, consider Noopept, and put some caffeine there maybe. What kind of cars do you like? A Lamborghini is my favorite car. Just the Lamborghinis you see out there these days. Just absolutely love it. I actually write down in my journal every day, I'm a Lambo owner in 2020. Let's see if it happens. I only have 2 more months. What about kratom? Is that a nootropic? Yeah, we discussed that a little bit earlier today. Or not today. Oh shoot. Sorry about that. I gotta just jump back to the comments. Pre-workout recommendations. Wesley, I have found that some nootropics include, some pre-workout products do include the B vitamins and some don't. And I found like the B vitamins are absolutely key, even though they go like, 20 times your daily recommended value. So as far as the recommendations, Wesley, you will know that pre-workout is good if it has caffeine, L-tyrosine, beta-alanine, and citrulline malate. Look for those 4. Generally, the problem is that they're underdosed. So what comes to mind? I mean, I take Engine just because it's a better nootropic. It's not the best pre-workout. I think it's Outlift by Nutrex. If you look at that product, it pretty much has like the ingredients and all their proper the proper doses as per the studies. Nothing else really comes to mind though, guys. Pre-gym. So it's PREJ yellow Mike. So gym like spelled with a J. That's also a very powerful pre-workout. It's good stuff. Just they have a lot of caffeine, so be mindful of that. Don't add it to coffee. Tyrosine, cocoa, shilajit, and tonkan ali can add to your stack. I don't know if that's a question, but good stack. Hey Mike, I was thinking of doing lion's mane and tyrosine. Been using this combo in the practice room, seeing success. Side note with L-theanine, I noticed I'm in a more flow state. Very cool. Yeah, that's what I mean with L-theanine. There's been some cool studies showing it can do some unique things with your brain waves that can't be found in other nootropics. We're talking like meditation benefits. Crazy stuff. Have you ever taken creatine as a nootropic? If so, what were your thoughts with it? Slightly energizing. I think it's overrated though as a nootropic. There's evidence showing it can help you when you're sleep deprived. No, I think maybe slightly more energy. I didn't have the best experience with it as far as like nothing profound happened. And one thing with creatine is you really need to drink more water. Otherwise you get irritable, which is something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Like as soon as, let's say you're already not drinking enough water, don't take creatine because you're going to be irritable. You're going to be cranky. It's just not a good experience. Or it may not be that bad, but it's something to be mindful of. You feel dehydrated a lot easier. Like when I'm taking creatine, I mean, I'm taking it now. It's like, I always have to have water. I mean, if I go like, If I go 20, 30 minutes without water, I feel very, just you can say not optimal. So it's like just something just doesn't feel right. This is helpful. Okay, good, Travis. Good to know. Have you used Shilajit and or Mumi? I don't know how to pronounce that. Shilajit, I believe I used once. I will take more of it for sure and just give you a good idea as far as what it does. My game is more aggressive and I take riskier moves, but again, I seem to gas out. Since you mentioned some anxiety is good to boost athletic performance. Yeah, I will. You're in an interesting position because like the physical activity you do, it takes a lot of thought, right? So you do want something which is going to reduce your anxiety to make sure that your faculties are all working well. And when you take caffeine, the issue is then you can be losing some of your intelligence based on the studies showing that caffeine is better for simpler tasks, maybe not so good for others. Can I take Phenibut if I'm hungover? Also, how long should I wait after drinking to take Phenibut? Oh, I don't know the answer to that question. I've not mixed the two. Maybe I've had a glass of wine. I don't think it matters that much, just provided that you're not taking a lot of it. Sorry, I couldn't be more helpful. Noah West, are you still on Wellbutrin? Yes. However, I don't. I'm not as strict about taking it every single day. Like Saturday is my traditional cheat day, carb day. I don't typically use Wellbutrin because it blunts my appetite, and I want to enjoy my cheat day and whatever, have some cake or something. But otherwise, yeah, it's a good mood pick me up. If you're taking a lot of stimulants, you may not notice the benefits though. Wellbutrin, though, I've yet to really find any side effects. It's just good energy, good, slightly better mood, willing to take action, lowers just that risk averse attitude you have towards a lot of things. Are in my experience, I wait 24 hours. I don't know what that means. How often do you take L-tyrosine every single day? I take it pre-workout or even pre-cardio. So for me, I'm just one of those unusual specimens that works out every day. So I lift 4 days a week and I run 3 days a week, and I use L-tyrosine and caffeine before every workout. Supplements to repair and regrow dopamine receptors. I don't know. I think there's a lot of different information out there. Let me know, guys, what works for you in that with that conversation, because I'm not really a believer that anything is out there which can help. It's just a question of getting time off stimulants. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm skipping. I started working home, but I find myself becoming slowly unproductive. Rather play video games. Will Lion's Mane or Nootropic help me? Yeah, Rashid. Plus, you get to the gym, man, or get a workout in. What's a good website? What about Brandon Green? I've never heard of that. Eliran, I suggest magnolia bark for mood and sleep. Yeah, Eliran, I actually got some magnolia bark from Lift Mode as per your suggestion. Thunder Drake, thanks, Mike. I was literally binging on your videos on L-tyrosine and Nootropic before I got it. Okay, good. I hope it actually did what I mentioned it would do. Best nootropics for fast thinking. Yeah, Nootropic and the racetams I find are the best things to be like sharp on your feet. Can you talk about prescription versus non-prescription newts? How to determine what a good strength level is? I don't know what you mean. Because we pretty much talk, or most of the users here who are on nootropic, who are taking nootropics as a result of the channel, are non-prescription ones. I mean, all things being equal, is like stay away from prescriptions, and unless your GP recommends otherwise, and find nootropics that can nicely replace prescripts if you can. Do you take B complex or separately? Because I have enough vitamin B in my pre-workout, I'm not too conscious of it. I do take a multivitamin specifically for like people with some sort of mood disorder or a series of depression. It's called True Hope. True Hope Empower Plus. It's really good. It's expensive, but it's damn good. Matt Walker, best nootropic stack for sales. Watch my video on nootropics that doubled my income. That's like it's a true story. In fact, it didn't double. It actually more than doubled. Super B complex is pure by a really good brand. Okay, cool. Modafinil increases my heart rate. Yep, we talked about that. I find mixing creatine into coffee is quite good. There's an added sense of refreshment. Ryan, just be mindful. There's a little bit of talk that taking creatine is not good with coffee. How true that is, I don't know. I don't know if there's studies in on that, but people have reported apparently not getting the creatine benefits when they take it with coffee. And that's just coffee. It's not caffeine, it's coffee. Do you think if we take all of our nootropics sublingually, it'll boost its effectiveness? Depends on what they are. I think in theory, yeah, maybe. Let's give it a shot. I found a supplement that has uridine 250, alpha GPC 500, caffeine, L-theanine, rhodiola, and B12. Is this worth a try for productivity? Yeah, that's really good for productivity. Take it in the middle of the day, when you need a little bit of a pick-me-up. Thoughts on Justin Trudeau, like or dislike? I don't really watch politics too much, but so it's hard to make a comment on that. For me, phenylprostam has been great for making me feel like I'm thinking faster. Yeah. Do you play any musical instruments? No, just like all of us, we love to learn an instrument, but we don't get around to it. Mike, have you ever taken modafinil without cycling it for such a long stretch of time? I think the most what that looked like was maybe like 1 month of modafinil every day minus 5 days of the month, right? Maybe like 6 days on, 1 day off. Maybe I did that for a month, but I've never really I don't think I've ever taken it like 7 days in a row. Do you take magnesium? Not intentionally. It's in my multivitamin. Hey, please tell me a nootropic stack for 10 hours of focus / productivity. Oh my gosh. All right. Why not? So caffeine, you want to use this twice. Okay, let's assume that this is a stack you just take once. Lion's mane, bacopa, rhodiola rosea. Caffeine, take some L-theanine, take some tyrosine, maybe add some NALT because they do both have a good effect. What else? Add the racetams, pramiracetam, pracetam, oxiracetam, and Noopept. And then, yeah, use the caffeine once again in the middle if you can. I've been taking Nootropics Depot Lion's Mane. I enjoy it and see all the great benefits so far, but I do notice I may be less hornier than usual, and I feel like I wake up with less morning erections. That's a real thing, Sung Cho. Good on you for being observant of your state because it's often reported. I've been loving magnolia bark for generalized anxiety. Okay, that's very cool. I'm looking forward to taking it then. Is this all in my head, or maybe I'm taking too much L-theanine? I range for half to 1 gram daily. What does this have to do with the lion's mane? Or are you taking that on top of the? You're saying the L-theanine. It's probably the lion's mane. People do notice a drop of libido. It's pretty common. L-tryptophan can help with the dopamine receptors or low dopamine levels. Okay, cool. Let's look into this together. Which nootropics will help me fall asleep? Valerian root's been good. I think of most of them, they will help you to get a level of like deep sleep. But valerian root's actually pretty effective in a healthy way of making you a little bit calmer and go to bed. Lemon balm is pretty good too. What do you recommend for people that are anxious to try newts? Very inexperienced. Lion's mane caused slight anxiety after 2 days, but I want to try it again because the benefits sound wonderful. Take less. I think take less and also try different dosage protocols. Try it 3 times a day. A lot of people like taking lion's mane twice a day. I actually prefer it 3 times a day, just a very low amount because I work like long hours. I thought tryptophan is good for serotonin. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually. Some nootropic ability along with protein synthesis. Is that a question? Okay, that's a part 2 of your comment, Mr. Brandon Green. Who's up in here? I'm gonna just go through our little attendance list because I like doing this. You guys are important. Rated, Fardeen, VS. I don't know if you guys are still here from before. Chaitan messaged once and then he dipped. Savage, Steven, Rab Ninja, Juan, Ryan, Bernard, Mark, Chris, Jonathan, Jack Frost, Kala Devi, Righteously Rebellious TV. Thank you for being a new subscriber. Nabil Kanya, Razel Cortez, Choose Freedom, Zinc. No, Choose Freedom, and then your comment was Zinc. I apologize. Why So Serious? My friend in Italy, King 45, Moses, DS, Tejasvi, Gutina, John Pham, Troy Gomez, Pranav Single, Sunda Gamer, Thomas, Jorgus. Well, there's been a lot of different people. Odd Job, Why So Serious, Founds Fox, and he came in Wiley 224, Realiness, Prince 2132. Okay, this is longer than I thought. So I want you guys to know that you are appreciated and appreciate the questions. Hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. And click that like button, please. And I'll just get back to the comments and finding the last one. Is it all in my head? So Sangcho, no, it is in your head because that's a real thing. And Sangcho, you've done a great job with your questions. Actually, I'm enjoying them, and I think they're well thought out, and you know what you're doing. How do you gain knowledge? Okay, I don't know if you've already talked about this, but what's your diet like, Jack Frost? Simple answer to that question is if I'm eating like Complex carbohydrates, I really avoid sugar or do my best to avoid sugar in pretty much every carbohydrate I eat. Not that it should be, but because complex carbohydrates fill me up, I make sure our fibrous ones. What that looks like is like some sort of like fibrous carbohydrate. What examples is that? Like oatmeal, anything low on the glycemic index for the most part. I don't eat a lot of breads. I found that just varying, changing up your carb sources and your intakes really helps you to understand like nootropics and your mindset and just your state overall, because it's what's so. And I just have this general rule, like you have to earn your carbs. So the more intense my workout is during the day, generally the more carbohydrates I'll eat. I eat a lot of protein just mainly because it keeps me full. As far as nootropics go, get in your fats. So get in a fat source every meal. Be intentional on it. If you're ever just uncertain if you're having enough fat, nothing wrong with like adding like a little bit of olive oil or throwing some nuts, because they're just so powerful for your brain, for your mood. It's really helping with irritability. I like Brazil nuts a lot. And yeah, and I'm practicing intermittent fasting, something like 18-6, you can say. But I kind of cheat because I have a protein shake right after my workout. So it's not really an intermittent fast by all means. Man, I keep losing where I am in the comments. Okay, there we go. LMAO, the debate was so funny. Yeah, I didn't watch it. How do you gain knowledge of nootropics and determine what to take and not to take? That would be just through popularity. When I hear about something enough times, then I go ahead and I give it a shot. How damaging was it? Chemical, I don't know the answer to that. Have you tried yerba mate? Yeah, a few times. I'll look more into that actually. I'm surprised it's not brought up often on the channel, because I remember Tim Ferriss in his little video, Tim Ferriss on smart drugs, he talked really highly about yerba mate, and even I was sold on it. Bro, kratom, kava, phenibut are great for anxiety. Devin White, you nailed it. Those three are like almost the best ones. CBD oil also fits that, fits that upper tier of really powerful nootropics for anxiety. I think also papaya is good for helpful enzymes. Okay, if you guys are talking to, don't mind if you have a question, just put a question mark at the end, because now we have conversations between you all, and I don't have a Discord or some sort of community, but I really like the fact that you guys are interacting with each other. What newts? So I'm at Eliran Sabag's comment. What newts/supplements are really good for health in general for long term? I mean, pretty much the obvious ones, which you already know about. Fish oil. Aside from that, of the stuff you're usually taking, ashwagandha, nothing else immediately comes top of mind. Maybe caffeine, because the benefits with caffeine are such that it's a really strong antioxidant. I think generally it's healthy as long as you don't overdo it. Ashwagandha, though, I was looking at a study. It was like they took 52 patients, and across 8 weeks, and like not one person had any bad side effect. And I found that pretty damn interesting. And it's no surprise, it's like the most popular video on my channel. Means I make. Is that common, lower libido in the morning and lower morning erections on lion's mane? Sangcho, it's not been my experience, but other people do have made that comment. Vishal suggests nootropics for neurogenesis. Watch the video on 4 nootropics to generate new brain cells. Pretty much it's all there. What is the reason for newts such as phenylprastan being prescribed in Russia, whereas in other countries it's just available to get online with no doctors, no complaints, just wondering? Typically because in that country some sort of bad experience has happened or something alarming has happened for them to take a real good, examination into what is this thing doing and what are the dangers of it. Idea for next video, please do a review on Neurostack brand. They say it's comparable to Quaily and MindLab. Rashid, the thing with a lot of these nootropic blends, they just don't have enough like search results. If they did, then I would definitely make a video on it, but it's not like something which is gonna it's not going to grow my channel, and it's probably not going to be appealing for 90% of people because it's simply just not a known supplement. So sorry, I just want to be honest with you. I smashed that like button. Great content. Thanks. Okay, good. That's what I was hoping for. Tribulus does work very well. I just had my Tonkat Ali about. This is so funny, man. Jen, I'm glad it's working for you, because it's cool in that a lot of the nootropics which work for me seem to work for you. How powerful is choline and the racetam stack? Kaladevi, I think it's the best thing when it comes to productivity. It's not something you would take if you want to enjoy taking a month off or learn to be, general personal development. You get more energy, more focus on productivity. You can shut out distractions. You'll be horribly imbalanced. Have you ever used / do you like stevia? Yeah, Joe, I use stevia almost every day just because I'm avoiding sugar. So not in my cooking, but sometimes afterwards I use a bit of it. with ketchup. I just pretty much add some stevia. It's some good stuff. I think it's overall it's an antioxidant. The one thing people don't know about stevia is there's studies showing that it actually can increase your hunger. So if you're trying to lose weight, something to be mindful of. They've only done that study with animals. Just interesting though. It's like I think they took cows and they gave them a little bit of stevia. They were eating way more. It was pretty cool. What would be a good? Have you guys read any interesting studies lately that I should know about? What would be a good compound or a stack on take the days I don't do phenylprastam or adrafinol? That's where everything else is pretty powerful. Yeah, Kurt, like the one, like all the nootropics which I mentioned earlier for that gentleman doing looking to get 10 hours of solid productivity. So Sung Cho, this is a follow-up question to their libido concern with lion's mane. Should I be concerned about lion's mane lowering my libido? I really enjoy it, but is there long-term side effects? No, I doubt it. Sung Cho, if take some time off of it if it gets that bad, and then you can do a proper assessment, do the pros outweigh the cons. Who knows? You may find something which will raise your libido, and then it can counteract that effect, right? Does Bacopa Manieri reduce levels of testosterone? Kind of like lion's mane, you'll hear it from the odd person. Thanks, Mike. Love this. Loving these live Q&As. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to start doing these. Guys, don't mind. I mean, just remind me, honestly. Someone needs to just come on one of my videos and be like, hey, man, you haven't done a live stream in a while. I didn't realize how much I enjoy doing these. This is actually pretty fun. I tried taking 500 milligrams of CDP choline. It's been 4 days now since I took that dose, but I'm feeling sleepy and demotivated. John, I would say that is garbage, but somebody reported almost the exact same experience on our last live stream. So I don't know. Stay tuned for that one. I think it sounds so crazy, but because you're the second person who said it, who knows? Eliran, do you take N-acetyl-L-cysteine? If yes, for what? Eliran, I used it for a bit. I actually had a big tub, so I was forced to finish it. And what I took it for, really just curiosity, be able to explain to you guys what it does. It's supposed to be a good antioxidant. It's good for immune support. And there's some people who say it actually helps them like eliminate bad habits. Does it do that? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I wasn't really too sure if it was doing anything, so I didn't proceed to get it again. However, they're starting to add N-acetyl-L-cysteine in a lot of pre-workout products, so maybe it does something with focus. 3Bet Panda, I would say Qualia Mind is trending hard. Yeah, Qualia Mind, I mean, it's just a solid product. Like you look at the ingredient profile, nothing compares. I think it's more appropriate, not for students though, for higher performers, you know, people who are making good money. Hey guys, what's the difference? What's the most notable before/after difference after taking Qualia? Thinking about ordering a supply. Wesley, I'm not sure about the long-term benefits from it, but what I'll be doing is, yeah, I'm actually 2 weeks taking it consistently now. Like a little bit more energy, helps you a little bit with fatigue, so I'm enjoying it. It doesn't have the racetams, but that's okay. You can always use the racetams on the side. So what you can notice when you take it, you get like 3-4 hours of feeling like a good, well-oiled machine. Really good, especially for performance anxiety. And you don't feel you don't even feel slightly anxious. It's pretty cool. You get in state, you're not over-energized. Just a good, smooth feeling. Is there a benefit post taking it 30 days? I doubt it. I'd be curious to know for all of you. A lot of people here have used Qualia Mind. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Benar, have you used sulbutamine? I have. I didn't notice anything from it. Hey guys, what's Joe Rogan? Have you seen the study saying there may be an antidepressant effect from creatine? It doesn't surprise me, but I mean, there's been studies saying that about everything. That's like half of the studies on lion's mane will say that. Does nootropics make libido low, improve focus productivity? I don't know what the question is. If you can reword that, please. That is how Heisenberg killed Lydia. I don't know what the heck that did he, or what even happened there. At some time, a good topic would be investigation of Raponticum and okay, cool, good to know. I think you mentioned those before. Describe pramiracetam. Boom. Describe pramiracetam. It's the best nootropic in my opinion for like discipline and willpower, getting through tedious, repetitive, boring tasks in a way where you can clearly and imagine that long-term benefit and that kind of like reward, kind of like all that reward stimulus is going on in a really nice way. Tomcat is Oh my gosh, you're funny, man. Mr. Fallon's Fox, you are a funny guy. Green, I heard of. I take NAC for liver support. Yeah, that's what it's supposedly good for as well. Lots of cool benefits. Plus, it's an amino acid, relatively healthy. Joe Rogan, do you have an opinion on CBD? No, I've never tried it. Just really cool studies showing it's pretty effective with anti-anxiety. It's almost like the best thing out there right now. Thoughts on 9-MBC? John, I've not tried it. Does nootropics increase your baseline cognitive performance? Yeah, I answered that a little bit earlier today. What's your say about for 50 milligrams of modafinil taken 5 days a week? John, depends what kind of work you're involved in. I think for a student, it's okay, but with the 50 milligrams is very subjective because that may be strong for somebody. For me, it would be okay. I wouldn't notice much, maybe like a slight mood pick me up when taking it. I use NAC and vitamin C whenever I drink, and before, especially milk thistle afterward. Yeah, milk thistle was also one of the first nootropics that I tried, just specifically because of its supposed ability to help keep you somewhat healthy and your liver healthy while taking nootropics. Anyone heard of microdosing the aphanols? Nope. Is there any nootropic that shouldn't be taken together? Be mindful of the stimulants, especially, right? Wellbutrin and yohimbine. Yeah, yohimbine is really tricky one. I think when it comes to things you get over the counter, it's a bit different. Mike, any suggestions for optimizing mood, specifically dealing with anxiety and depression? I found lion's mane to do well, but I need to find an alternate because of libido. Sungcho, what I used was Wellbutrin. I don't really feel like I need it anymore though, but I like the increased energy levels. Amongst that, see, I would tell you to take ashwagandha and bacopa, but because of the issue you're having with libido, I'm not sure. You can't always just try them because they're pretty effective on your mood, and most people do like not notice a drop of libido. I dumped out a couple of L-theanine caps and stuffed it out there. That's funny. What are you guys talking about? What's the powder that tastes bad? Overpriced. I think you're talking about Tomcat. There's like a conversation between you guys. Okay, Mike, what helps you sleep after taking phenylprastam? I'm still feeling it right now. Oh my gosh. I took phenylprastam about 13 hours ago, and I know, yeah, it's gonna unfortunately affect my sleep. So what I would do, Fallon's Fox, lemon balm extract, because I'm liking that. I have also just found eating a very high carbohydrate meal in the later portion of the day really just sedates you. It's a nice feeling. Beyond that, though, I don't really take any nootropics to help me with sleep. I'm just mindful of taking phenylprastam as early in the day as possible. I have exams in 2 months, and I just want to stay focused in the mood to learn for the next 2 months. So which nootropics would you suggest? So Hale, to what I said before, nootropics for productivity, be like just be a bit skeptical with the videos that with my videos, and keep in mind like a lot of the content is not necessarily directed to students. It's directed to people who more so people, I would say, like entrepreneurs, people who have all kinds of different work. So a little bit of studying, right? A little bit of interacting with people. Bacopa is really good. Prastam's good. Choline's good. And then it depends on other nootropics. It's kind of more helpful if you let me know what nootropics you're considering, and then I can let you know if it may help. Nootropics that lower libido improves productivity. That's maybe like a side effect of lower libido means decreased sex drive, means less interaction with females, meaning you be more productive, right? So look at the brighter side of things. Which vendors do you monitor? Lift Mode, iHerb, VitaCost, and eBay. Very cool. eBay. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? Dude, phenylprastam is the best. Yeah. I remember the first time I took phenylprastam, I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Yeah. Phenylprastam half-life is 2 to 3 hours. No, I find, especially when you're fasted though, it's a really good nootropic. Have you noticed any other benefits from Tonkat Ali? It seems to reduce fatigue. Are you still using the nicotine? Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, and guys, I really want to hear what your thoughts are about this, because nicotine spray, I don't know what the negatives are in depth. There's talk about it. With the spray, I do find like now it's at this point, I'm getting this nice mood uplift, and then it almost seems like a worse mood just for a short period. I don't know why. I'm not really enjoying that. So based on everyone's reviews, I thought I should. Would a stack of piracetam, oxiracetam, and aniracetam be beneficial for a student? Yes. And also, when multiple racetams are taken, should the doses be lowered? No, they actually work better together. I really noticed piracetam working when I was using it with aniracetam, for example. Joe Rogan, what are you against the use of amphetamines for focus/studying? Yes, I am, because you're in this. I think for provided that you're just that you've done your homework, I guess it could be okay. But they're horribly addicting. They're hard to get off of, and there's a lot of people that have really just almost like ruined their brain from taking Adderall for such a long time. And once you really feel like the side effects and how bad they are and how much time it takes to get off of them, you never really want to get on them again. Just there has to be a better way. I mean, it's almost like you're like your last hope. How to use Bacopa 300 milligrams 2 times per day long term? Well, you just nailed it. You don't really have much to learn to be concerned about. With that, Kala Devi, 300 milligrams twice a day. I don't think you should be too concerned about building a tolerance. It's not been my experience. If you want to be a little bit cautious of it, you can try like 1 month on, 1 week off, or like 2 months on, 2 weeks off, something like that. You got to tell, I get no effects, just memory, which is cool. Mike, did you hear about the guy who got piracetam and is working on studying aniracetam and Nootropic? This will likely, oh no, I didn't hear about that. Where's that at? Yeah, I haven't read on Reddit Nootropics recently. Oh yeah, just here and there. It's not like you really find anything too profound, but that's pretty cool. Nicotine, great appetite suppressor. There's better appetite suppressors out there. Where it's handy though is just like a nice pick-me-up, especially in the later portion of the day. I love my aniracetam, my everyday. Yeah, especially when you take aniracetam out of your stack, then it becomes so it is so interesting, and like the stuff actually works to reduce anxiety. Like not only social anxiety, but work related anxiety. It's pretty damn powerful. Aniracetam, 500 milligrams, 400 milligrams, 2 to 3 times a day with a choline source. Pretty damn good stuff. Tell us some appetite suppressants. So of course there's stimulants, right? Caffeine, there's phenylpiracetam, there's modafinil. Then along that, there's also green tea. I think green tea is a really, really strong appetite suppressant. Something which works for me is, especially in the later portion of the day when we get hungry, take some decaf green tea, really helps. I wouldn't use something like nicotine because it's not that powerful. But then also there's the question of, there's nootropics which will actually make you want to eat healthier. Like if you have bad carbohydrate cravings, seriously look at 5-HTP because it slightly boosts serotonin. You'll have less incidents, you can say, of having those bad binge eating incidents. After taking Bacopa, I feel heart rate increases and nervousness. Is that normal? Sachin, yes, just for a short period of time. I respond to that the same way. It's on Reddit Nootropics. There's a guy doing studies. He did a study. Oh my gosh, isn't that interesting? And guys, I hope this was as helpful for you as it was for me. I enjoyed it. Stay tuned for that next video. You guys have helped me out with the topic, with the title for that topic on the 4 different racetams. I'll be getting that out maybe within the next couple days. Appreciate you guys. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, but all of you guys are equally important. Appreciate you and have a good night. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.